Road to Guangdong. I guess how you would pronounce that. This is being played on Nintendo Switch. This was provided to me by Excalibur Games for review purposes, so appreciate the review opportunity. Alright, so in this game, you play as a girl that's inherited a restaurant and has to go with her grandma around various areas of China on a road trip to get the blessing of their family members in order to run the restaurant she's inherited. So essentially, it's a story-driven, a very story-driven game. So I would call it I wouldn't call it a simulator. I would call it more of a, well, okay, yeah, it's kind of a driving simulation / story game, I guess, the best way to put it. So essentially, you're talking to your grandma. Your grandma explains you have to go on a big road trip, get the blessings of the family members, and along the way, you need to make sure that your car doesn't essentially fall apart. So you have to make sure you have gas in it, you have to make sure you have oil, and you keep the parts on it intact so you don't break down. Okay, so essentially here we go. We're going to go ahead and you inherit Sandy. Get the car keys for Sandy. Okay, so alright, so here we go. So we're going to go ahead and fill it with oil. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and move around to the other side over here and give it some gas. Okay. Yeah, so it really does act like a real car. I mean, it's got a car with problems. You go too fast, and you're gonna burn up your gas, and your engine components will fail. Okay, so here's the inside of the car, and you got the radio there. You've got the headlights there. And I'm using the right analog stick to move the camera around. And here's going to start the car. And your grandma will occasionally talk to you, as well as fall asleep on long drives, which I think is kind of cool. So you got the right trigger to accelerate. Left trigger is used to brake. And you got to keep an eye on your oil gauge, your fuel gauge, and your heat and your speed. So the graphics of the game are really pretty. I like the art style. The music's a little I don't care for the music. I mean, I know it's based in China. I know they have like an upbeat type music available, but to each their own, I suppose. But on your long road trip, you can stop by scrapyards to pick up parts to sell. So you can, whoa, and you can crash. So if I can, there we go. By the way, yeah, you can go to scrapyards to get parts for your car to sell or to use should you break down and need the part. And I'm actually going to come up here and turn around. Come on, turn around, let's go. There we go. Okay, we go to the restaurant. And you're given a budget. You're given a budget of $400. Now you can sell parts in order to up that budget. But that's what you have to play around with. If you don't have enough money to keep your car going, your story ends. It's game over. And you have to weigh your risks of going. So there's, I think, six destinations you have to get to, and you can choose whether or not to go the furthest one first, or whatever way you want to go about doing it. But if you do that, you have to understand that you may break down. So here's you and your grandma discussing the restaurant. And how you respond to characters determines like how they feel towards you, which is kind of cool. One thing I wish that they had was voice acting. That's like the only thing that I see missing that I'd like to see in the game. That maybe some mouth animation, because they got eye blinking. Why not have the mouth move when they're talking? And these are things you can say to them. It gives you like points you need to hit on in the conversation. Well, you don't need to hit on them, but sometimes you do in order to make the conversation move forward, and subsequently make the story move forward. Just to give you money. Grandma's old and feisty. Alright, so here's your budget. Load times are too long, which I like. Alright, so now we gotta take it to the mechanic, so we're gonna start the car. One thing I don't like about the game, or one thing I'd like to see changed or updated, or I mean, that might not even be possible, but I would like to see more of a map. So when you go to the map here, actually, it doesn't give you a map. I'm sorry. So it gives you a map, so to speak. But you got the route there. But I wish there was more of a map, like more of a this is where you are, this is where you're going, kind of a deal. And also to show you where the scrap yards and garages are. And I'd also like to see more of an indicator of where they are, because when you're driving along here, and I'm going way too fast, you'll see like a green square like you did before at the restaurant, and the words scrapyard or garage. But if you're going real fast or not paying attention, you're gonna pass right by it, and you may end up stranded. You may end up having to call a tow truck. See, like right here, I pretty much blew right past that. See, that's really hard to see. So yeah, those are my nitpicks. Really, I'd like to see more fleshed out map. I'd like to see more of an indicator of where the scrapyards or garages are and where your destination is. Like you end up overshooting it or what have you. So here's the mechanic. Be polite. So when you're polite to him, he'll charge you just labor costs for the work that you're going to have him do. And they give you free, they top off your oil and your gas for you. And you have the option of purchasing additional gas and oil, obviously. So as far as I've gotten in the game, I've gotten to the second task, if you will. Okay, so he'll point out what needs to be fixed, and you can choose whether or not to fix it. Okay, so driving tips. Try not to go too fast. Saying is old, her parts will wear faster if you overheat her. Keep an eye on the oil gauge. If it drops quickly, you probably have a leak. Make sure you always have oil and petrol so you don't run out on the road. Okay, so here it shows you what needs to be fixed. So you need the oil filter, and I'm going to just do it all. Okay, so replace the oil filter, and then we're going to replace the tire, and we're going to do the fan belt. Give it gas. Engine. Okay, so we got everything. Alright, so yeah, so the first garage gives you parts and gas to start off with. So there's the car parts you have in your inventory. And it's going to load up the map. And we'll decide which one to go to. And I'm going to pick the dog sitting one. Furthest one we can get to. And your grandma will make comments, like if you're going too fast, and the car will have an issue. She'll say, "Oh, I think someone's making a noise." She'll have the radio so you can hear it, which is kind of cool. But yeah, if you run out of gas, you don't have any, you can call a tow truck, and it's like $75 each time you call them. See, and again, I totally blew past this garage. Actually, I think it's just a scrapyard. Actually, yeah, it is. Okay. So here, where you can get parts, oil filter. These are free, they don't cost you anything. Alright, now I took all those parts to sell. Just get them extra money. I'm overeating. Alright, I'm going to end the review here. This has been Road to Guangdong. Thank you so much to Accelerate Games for the review opportunity. This game is amazing. Very, very well done. I definitely highly recommend this game to anyone looking for something different. A new and exciting experience to play on Nintendo Switch. It's also available on Steam as well. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. As always, until next time, take care and happy gaming.